Winter is usually the season when farms go quiet. The soil rests, the crops take a break, and most people assume there's not much to see. But today, in the middle of winter, I am standing at Eco City Farms in Bladensburg, Maryland. And trust me, this place is very much alive. Eco City Farms isn't just one farm, it's a network. In addition to Bladensburg, they operate farms along Edmonston Road and Watkins Park in Prince George's County, all with one mission: growing fresh, local food while teaching communities how to do the same. This is urban farming with a purpose, where education meets sustainability and where food isn't just grown, it's shared. I had the chance to sit down with Tomas, one of the farmers here at Eco City Farms, to talk about what it really takes to run an urban farm, even in the coldest months of the year. So let's step inside the greenhouse, warm up a little bit, and hear directly from the man himself.
Yeah, thank you. So I think what planting means to me, or really why I enjoy being involved with planting, is you get to see the entire life process of this plant. So we start the seeds in our nursery, we make our own soil mix, and then we put the seeds in the soil. We see this plant from when it's 1 week old, 2 weeks old, 1 month old, and now about 3.5, 4 months old. So you're seeing the whole lifespan of this plant from when it starts as a seed to harvesting it and then turning it back into compost, and then growing the next crop and the remainder of this plant. So yeah, we have 3 locations that we operate at. The 3 locations are in Prince George's County, so we're here in Bladensburg, Maryland. We also have another location not too far in Edmonston, Maryland, and then a 3rd location at Watkins Park up in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. So I was talking to these guys, and I told them I've done some trips internationally, as has some others who are with Eco City. I recently, this past year in 2025, was in Peru, and then the year before that, I was in Honduras, and I was talking to farmers, trying to promote organic agriculture. And so, yeah, the idea of taking this, worldwide is definitely something that we've talked about as an organization. And actually, this past year, we had two people who are working here, volunteering here, learning here. One of them was from Zambia, and the other was from Uganda. So, yeah, we kind of have international ties. The area that we're in here in Bladensburg, there's a lot of people who live in this area who come from other parts of the world.
Definitely.
So it is feels very international here. Food is something that brings people together too. Absolutely. Right? Everybody eats food. Everybody has a story about a farm that their grandparents had, or their aunts and uncles had, or maybe they grew up on a farm. But a lot of the times, people now are living in the city, so they're kind of disconnected. I grew up in the suburbs, outside of the city, so I had really, didn't really have much of a rural upbringing. But my grandfather was a grower. It wasn't like he was selling his produce, but he was growing food and using all fresh ingredients. My grandparents were Italian immigrants to this country, and so they grew a lot of their own food. So every weekend I would go to their place, walk through the fields, touch the fruit trees. And I didn't really think, I'm going to grow up and be a farmer. But, when I look back on it, and I'm like, well, that probably planted the seed, no pun intended. Yeah, it's interesting looking back on it. Not something that I thought of as a child growing up. This is what I want to do when I get older. But when I became an adult, it definitely, I was attracted to this line of work. I've been blessed to have good cooks in the family. So what I do is I bring the ingredients home.
Hey, you played your part.
To the
there
table.
you go.
Yeah, my mother and my brother are very talented.
He's the farmer.
I can't do it all, so
He's the farmer.
no, it's nice to bring this stuff home to family, and that's kind of what it's all about. That's funny you asked. I was just talking to one of my coworkers about this. There are certain things AI will never be able to do.
Yes, sir.
And so as a farmer, you kind of feel like a sense of job security, because I feel like AI can only enhance what we do. It's not going to take away jobs from farmers. But what it can do is it can, do, a lot of the things that we don't like doing, which is like the admin work, the spreadsheets, all of that stuff. If we can automate that, get AI to help with crop planning, determining when to put the plants in the ground, how long to put analyzing data and temperatures, all of that, I could see that being a benefit. But no, ultimately, most of your day is spent outside in the field around the plants, so it's going to have to be people. And me having the experience of both having like 1 foot, mostly city, I would say, life, but then also on these weekends when I'd go out to the farm. But even that, like I still do. There's a lot that I didn't know, like what we hear a lot is people don't know when crops are available. So in the middle of the winter, we'll have people say, oh, we want a tomato. And we have to educate people and say, well, tomatoes are not grown in the winter. It needs to be hot. There needs to be a certain amount of hours of sunlight. So we do find that when people are disconnected from the food, that also they're less picky about what they're eating more processed food, eating more unhealthy food. Whereas once you start understanding food, and honestly, it's a blessing and a curse, because going from eating this kind of stuff to then buying stuff in the store, it's different. So I don't eat tomatoes in the winter because they're not fresh, and I can taste a tomato that's been frozen versus a tomato that's fresh. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, in our climate, really, end of June is when you first started getting them, but then July, August, that's when they're really, in bloom. Okay, and then it keeps going until really the first frost, the first hard frost, which about October,
November.
You could if you have enough sunlight. But so when we get like this time of year, even if it was hot enough, we wouldn't necessarily have enough sunlight. But some places, like, they can put LED lights, and they can supplement that way.
Okay.
You don't need a lot of space.
Okay.
I think people think you need a lot of space, but you don't. And the way I started was with containers at my parents' house. They have a little back deck area, but you don't even need that. If you have anywhere that you can put plants outside, start putting plants in containers. Start with doing containers, and then look for community gardens in your area. There aren't a lot of urban farms, but there are more than you would think of. And I always tell people I found out about this place by searching on Google. I looked up urban farms near me, and I was living with my folks who live 10 minutes down the road. And that's how I found this place. It was from Google. Can't expect to, email people. I emailed. Unfortunately, I didn't get a response, which now that I work here is kind of funny. But you just show up, kind of like you did earlier today. You just show up and you just talk to people. And what you'll find is that people who grow plants for a living usually are very welcoming. And if you express interest and you want to learn, then people are going to want to help you out, for sure. I haven't met anyone who doesn't fit that description. So just go and talk to people. Don't be afraid to, tell people what you're interested in, and try to learn as much as you can.
A big thank you to Tomas and the whole Eco City Farm family. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Like, share, and subscribe as we experience the USA together. Thanks for watching.